Hello, friends. What's up? I'm the Wizard Pirate, and I'm here to bring you episode 13, I think, 13 of my Crowfall pre-alpha news. If you don't know what Crowfall is, it is a game it's a game being created by J. Todd Coleman and Gordon Walton. J. Todd Coleman was the creative director, I think, of King's Isle, or at least Wizard 101 and Pirate 101. I'm not positive. Um, I have four things. I'm changing it up a little bit. I'm going to be reading a lot from the website. So I wrote myself little notes while I was making my notes I made my thing. I put some stuff in parentheses so I'm trying this out, and I'm gonna write some text of quotes and stuff. I don't know. I'm trying to make it a little bit more interesting because it's kind of just been the same thing the whole way through. It is now summer vacation for me as well, so this means that I'll probably be having more videos up. I'm going to be doing a thing with Courtier the New, who I've done some Team Fortress 2 stuff with. So I'll be doing some, hopefully, Killing Floor. I'll be doing a weekly thing where I just film. He's planning to upload one every other day, and then do a Minecraft every other day that we're not doing it, but I'm just going to be filming what we film normally, and then cutting out the bad parts, only putting together the good parts, and it should be interesting. And I guess they have a pretty good mod community as well, so we could be diving into those. So let's start with the first one, which was 2 weeks ago, I believe they released this, and it was finding the fun in combat. When you're building a game, developers want to find the fun in the systems they implement into their games. They need to do this because, and when you put it on paper, an idea can sound like the best thing in the world has ever heard since the creation of video games, but it can turn out to be as bad as the campaign in Destiny. And finding the fun in the games, you need to build it, play it, change it, and repeat. Finding the fun in the game has no certain time signature, so Artcraft Entertainment has to move low-risk things in Crowfall further into the public and keep things that they think will take more time to find the fun back. Doing this will allow Artcraft Entertainment to have more time on the important systems so the game can be as close to perfect as possible. ACE is going to minimize the amount of iterations in the game that they have to create by doing less but doing it better. So I'm going to read a little bit about that on the website. Do it less. So they have 4 steps. Do it less but do it better is the first one. This says include only the features, art, and content that you need to test a concept, nothing more. Anything else is a distraction, and it could hide the fun in the game. The second step would be trying out ideas and then killing them quickly if they don't work. This is a concept known as fail quickly. If an idea just isn't going to work, it's better to find that out as quickly as possible and then move on, so you're not wasting your time on something that's never gonna happen. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Finding the fun is an exploration game, and every iteration reveals a bit more of the unmapped space. You can't explore problem space without going down a few rabbit holes. And then the last one is learn and adapt. Every iteration gives you more data to work with. Use the data to make measure changes to the system. Try again and again and again and again. Let's say that we need to test the ramparts around the castle wall due to movement, speed, and jump height being still in flux. We aren't sure yet if that wall should be 15 feet high or 20. Rather than did a guess and spending a few months of art and time adding detail to that wall, only to get into the game and find out that it was too high. Instead, spend an hour building one version, then get into the game as quickly as possible and try it out. Don't build a detailed wall until you know everything you need to know. So going back to my notes, interfaces in the game will look blocky and untextured while they're working on things like combat or how animals react during different seasons. between now and late summer, and that late summer is when they're going to start the pre-alpha testing. ACE will be releasing small chunks of info about the combat system, some of which will make sense and some not as much. The information will be coming out out the same, but like as they're doing now, but things will change. What? But coming about the same, but things will change and talk about on the website because of testing instead of just saying this is how it works as they're doing now because they haven't started testing yet. They have also released some gray boxes that are the large keep and have so there are 2 pictures up here. This is how they're starting to create what the large keep will look like. There's a lot more of this and another thing that we'll go to real quick. So there's one and another one. So good. I don't know. That's kind of awkward. So the next part is meet the combatants or whatever how you pronounce it. ACE first idea and the approach of how they are developing the game is do less but do it better, as we just said. This applies to the archetypes as well as the environment. They have a big chart that describes each archetype and in what situations they are best. This will vary through depending on what attributes you set in your character, though. But they need a baseline. So ACE has picked 3 archetypes and 3 male or female, and they're using them to test the combat experiences with each of them. So they are the female confessor, the male knight, and the male legionnaire. The legionnaire is a centaur, and I believe that it's the male. So let me read a little bit about each of them and what they're saying. So the first one is the female confessor. It is our first damage dealing caster. The confessor is all about firepower, both figuratively and literally, because it's like magic and fire. Yeah. Thematically, she fits in the glass cannon role. It is capable of dealing massive amounts of damage from preferably safe distances. In addition to direct damage, she has a number of tricks and combos that revolve around either damaging her opponent directly, burning them over time, building up sin in her opponent, and subsequently absolving them through fire or scorching the earth in a hail of holy fire. Next, we have the knight, the male knight. It is our first heavily armored tank. The knight is heavily defense fire, capable of dealing lots of damage and absorbing a hell of a lot more. Rather than out of the way when a big hit or fireball is coming, he plants his feet, throws his shield up, and takes on the chin. The knight's powers and combos typically center on blocking, shield slams, and movement control, but when he gives up in mobility, he makes up for it in affecting the mobility of others, often killing them. And then we have the Legionnaire, the male Legionnaire, in the Kickstarter. It was one of the stretch goals to add a female one, and they did reach that right at the beginning, so that is also coming. The Legionnaire is our battle commander, making him our first support class. His support powers are generated towards close combat, requiring him to be in the thick of battle to make the best use of them. He can rally his team with increased combat capabilities while using his mighty polearm to lay waste to enemies foolish enough to stand in his path. His centaur body makes him an interesting mix. He has increased mobility, both in powers and movement speed, that seem at odds with his increased mass, powering his ability to charge and make it very hard for players to move around him. Move him around the board with their psychic-based powers. So that's it. For that. And then the founders update business stuff. So I'm gonna read what the website says for that. So, There's some business stuff going on over the summer, and the first one is the equity raise. Last week we started the post Kickstarter equity raise. Targeting accredited investors. We have dedicated to raise 1 million and spent. They've raised 1 million with equity raises, and they've put that to getting more developers into the game to increase the speed of Crowfall's development. The second one is Stronghold sale. We put a few strongholds, those that we have art for, on sale in the store. I did not know that. The current sales would end on June 14th, which is 14th Sunday. This is the Sunday, so you should get that now. If you want to, I haven't actually looked at the store. I should look at that. Adding more stuff. Next one. The Kickstarter upsales. Both the Kickstarter upgrades and Kickstarter second patches for friend sales are ending on June 30th, which is in a few weeks. It's the last day of June, which is a Tuesday. I'll be in Disney World actually then. That's exciting. At that point, the Kickstarter packages will permanently be retired. So if you are a Kickstarter backer, please note, no whiting allowed later. Number 4, about sales and pricing. That leads me to talking about the approach to sales and pricing in general. Pre-launch, we've often putting things on sale as we introduce them, sometimes even before we have the art is finalized, or items I'll skip that part. Our operating philosophy is that early backers must get better deals, and this is just a natural extension of that, which is talking about the Kickstarter stuff. 5, localization. We're in the midst of our first Crowfall.com website localization, and the experiment is being done in German for German. I'm actually taking German next year. Once we bring the German site up later in June, it'll ensure it's working as planned, and we'll have a great template and process to another 5 promised languages quickly. Let me see if I think it's French, Polish maybe. I don't know, actually. I'm just gonna skip that. Web fixes and improvements. A big web publish is coming. We've talked earlier about this, but now it's getting closer. And by early next week, we'll be live. Automatic testing level and badge increase based on your total pledges. Gifting, 2-factor authentication via Authy Google Authenticator or in 1Password. I'll get into that in a second. Redeeming bundles, stored values, and wallets. Entitlement for currency, tools, and then for item limits and upgrading features. New payment provider for the United States of America. And new payment methods for adding more countries, South America, Asia, and Asia mostly. Now we get into, what's the next one? 50 Shades of Grey boxing. ACE has a lot of images of the gray boxes, which are like the concepts, well, not concepts, but like 3D art of a lot of the strongholds. I think they're mainly for the Eternal Kingdoms, but I think they're adding some sort of that into other things. They've also talked about this in a video, not in the online on their website. So I'm putting a little thing in the video. It is on the corner, and then I'll have a few pictures flashing on and off. I believe 4 of them I chose. So they're right here. I'll give you a second while I just cough, because I need to cough. Okay. 2FA, which is 2-factor authentication, protecting what's yours. 2-step authentication will be coming to the website as soon as this week. I believe it is up actually. It isn't mandatory for Crowfall users, but if you're gifting or trading something in the website, you must set it up. On the website, there are 3 versions you can get. You can set up 2-factor authentication with either Authy, a Google Authenticator, and 1Password. After you've what is it called? After you've downloaded one of the 3 to your website, you must go to crowfall.com and log in from your navigation bar on the top of the page. Enter your username and password in the fields provided, or create an account if you don't have one, but I would think all of you would have. when you've logged in successfully, you will be presented with a list of navigation choices. Select security, and a new page will open as shown below. Here's the picture. Step 1, step 2, and there's a QR code. I like QR codes. QR codes are cool. For tests, you're set up either by entering the code and provided on the website or scanning the QR code with your mobile device. Note that you will need to select time-based rather than counter-based if you're entering the code manually. Then click the red confirm button. Once the setup is successfully an authenticator, code will be required for every login as shown below. So that's it. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's see where we're at. We're at 15 minutes. Wow, longer episode. So I have a video coming up about Marley Bone Monster 101. It is their dungeon that I never did, but I've started. So I'll be doing that. What other stuff? Pirate 101, I'll be having a video coming up. Let's choose a date. I'll choose Thursday. So on Thursday, I'll have a video coming up for Pirate 101. Aaron can't do the video because he's in California and he forgot his membership cards in where he lives. So he can't do that, but he's letting me go on a little bit because we've waited way too long to do the next episode again. But I believe that's it for videos. Besides the killing floor, if the summer sale happens, which I believe it is, that is good. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I want to thank you guys so much for, I just said that. Well, I'm so tired right now. Feedback is greatly appreciated on my channel. Just comment below if you want something on my channel or you want me to stop something or whatever. I haven't really got any of those, so I'll take any feedback. Thank you for your support through my Crowfall series. You guys most of you have been appreciative of this, but I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I shall see you guys later. Bye!